So how do you break the dreaded slump? How do you work through the slump? Slumps are so real. They're so draining. This video is for you if you have ever gone through a mental slump or if you're going through a mental slump now. I've got 20 years of sales experience. So I've gone through several slumps, ups and downs, peaks and valleys. I've actually just busted out of a slump, okay? And that's the inspiration behind this video. I was gonna do something completely different, but after busting through this slump, I thought it'd be important to share some insight with you on my 20 years in sales and how I've broken through many slumps. Friendly reminder to please like and subscribe to the Art of Being Freed. So the first thing you want to do when you're in a slump, you want to acknowledge it. Like just, let it be known I'm in a slump. You want to bring a really good attitude to that realization. Sometimes you have to tell yourself the truth. Oftentimes in my past, I would be going through this slump and I try to fake my way out of it. This is why I said never fake it till you make it, because faking is just not a good thing to take on. So when you're in a slump, it's very important to acknowledge, hey, I'm in this slump. Now, what am I going to do about it? So the very first way, and this is probably the best way I've managed slumps or managed to break through slumps, is to pay attention to what you're paying attention to. So there's this old saying I read that said, energy goes where attention flows. And that's so true. If you think about the slump often, then you're going to continue to slump. And it's usually a collection of things that make you fall deeper into the slump. And I found that the more that I'd fight against the slump, knowingly and willingly, versus just letting it go and focusing on these other two things that we're going to mention, the harder the slump would become. I don't know if you ever had those old dreams where you're like running and it feels like you're like in quicksand. I know there was an old Freddy Krueger movie where the lady was running and Freddy Krueger was coming after her and she was just in quicksand. You know what I'm saying? That's what a slump feels like. So when you stop paying attention to that and don't acknowledge it as something that's, you acknowledge it initially, but you don't dwell on it. And once you go there, it's a lot easier to progress past the slump. So watch your attention, mind your attention. Don't keep too much of your attention on things that are not going well. I know when I watched The Secret back in the day, it talked about this scenario where this guy kept, stubbing his toe and running into all this stuff, and he was just having a terrible day, but he kept letting those things compound. He kept thinking about all the bad little things, series of unfortunate events that were happening, and it just made it stay with him, right? So we can't keep our attention focused on the things that are not going well, because you're just going to continue to attract those things. So that's the first thing you want to do when it comes to busting out of a slump, is to pay attention to what you're paying attention to. Now, the second way to bust out of a slump, this one's going to take more effort on your part, and that's going to be to have a game plan. So a game plan. Did that come out right? Have a game plan, okay? And when I say have a game plan, in my last video, I talked about how to game plan your week. We want to have some direction. And the best way to get out of a slump is to have some direction. You want to have a target that you can set, that you can run right through and get to. The only way out, I once heard, is through, okay? And I'm pretty sure that came from the Marines. If you're watching this and you served, thank you for your service. But you really want to push through all the stuff that's happening, and the best way to do that is by having some sort of game plan, some sort of template for your week and how you want it to go. Now, it's not necessarily always going to go your way, but I've learned over time that when I have a game plan and I pay attention to it, again, what are you paying attention to, right? I usually get most of what I want or need, and I just, again, went through this slump that I had to break, and a lot of me breaking that slump was me adhering to my game plan. That's why I mentioned that it's going to take a lot of accountability, self-accountability for you if you go this direction. Am I slobbing right there? Okay. If you go that direction, okay, you want to make sure that you're in a space where you have a template for success, your own template for success, nobody else's. Don't compare yourself to anybody. You have to have your own vision for yourself, and the best way to do that is by having a game plan. So again, the second way to bust out of a slump is to have some sort of game plan. If you need help with a game plan, just watch my last video. I'll link it at the end of this one, and this will teach you how to game plan your week. Now, before we get to the third way to bust out of the dreaded slump, if you're finding any value out of this video, I'm going to ask you to like and subscribe, share with your people, right? Like, this, slumps are real. Slumps happen a lot with everybody, not just athletes. I know they happen a lot with athletes. It's usually a mental thing, and I've really found that by just paying attention to what I'm paying attention to and game planning my template for success, it just really helps. So if you're finding any value out of this, share with your folks. All right, this is the most positive page on YouTube. Straight up, that's what they was telling me. I like the Teletubbies and Sesame Street, though. I got kids, so those are pretty positive pages too. But this is a very positive page, so go ahead and share and like, subscribe. Let's get in. What are some ways that you're busting out of mental slumps? So the third best way to break a slump: pattern interrupt. What are your patterns? What are your habits? What have you been doing day in and day out? Are you doing the same things every day? Maybe time to switch it up. Now, again, if you pay attention to what you're paying attention to, this will be a very easy thing to assess. And if you game plan your template for success, whether it's your day or your week or your weekend, this is also going to allow you to put in something new that's just going to break the pattern. So for me, fitness, I'll use this fitness as an example. If you work out often, maybe switch up the routine, maybe get a trainer, maybe start running different areas versus going to the gym. There's so many different things you can do and try. And by trying new things, it opens up your mind, it opens up your imagination, and it really should allow you the ability to gain confidence because you're open to trying new things. And I'm talking about physically going out and trying something new. It could be registering for a new class, you know what I'm saying? I've taken a paint, going and doing a paint and draw or a paint and sip, whatever they call those things. There's so many different things that you can do that will help you to become better, all right? And a lot of times we're holding ourselves back. Like for me, I always tell myself, I don't know what I don't know. So when I look to break the patterns, I go look to, new routines, new books that I could read, new courses I can take. I try to seek support from people. There's so many different things, and I'm very transparent too. When you're seeking to break a slump, find someone you can trust, that you could be transparent with, that will have your back, right, as you're moving forward, because you've been transparent. The worst thing you can do when you get into a slump is go hide off in a corner somewhere. It's just not good for the soul. I've been in those types of slumps where you just want to pull all the way back and you don't even want to talk to anybody. And those slumps are dangerous. You want to have some support because this is a mental thing. And if you could find somebody that you trust, that you could talk to about this slump, it's just going to help you so much in the future. And then when you do hit that goal, you have someone to share with versus you hitting the goal and you coming out being mad like, see, I told y'all. You don't want to be like that. You want to have someone by your side that's going to just push you to where you want to be in a healthy way. So, and if you don't have anybody like that, you could reach out to me. I would be more than willing to be your accountability partner. You just want to make sure you're going for something that's very much ideal and worthy to you. So that's the third way to bust out of a slump, which would be pattern interrupt. And that is a wrap. 3 ways to break out of a slump. Okay, the dreaded slumps. If you find any value out of this, please share with anyone who needs to hear this. There are a lot of folks who go through slumps, especially right now. There's a lot going on in the world and it's very hard to stay upbeat. You know what I mean? And slumps can really drain you of your energy. There are a couple of other things that we could have talked about on this call, but I really wanted to just share those top 3 because I busted out of a slump recently and it was pretty hardcore. But when I look back in my 20 years of being in sales, it's like, wow, how many times have my slumps been like rock bottom? So most slumps are not that bad. That's why you really want to take a step back, pay attention to what you're paying attention to, okay? Game plan your template for success. It's going to be personal to you, what you want, and then break the patterns, right, of what you're doing every day. There's always something new that you can get into to and try. There's always some people that are out there that are willing to support you, that have gone through what you're going through or worse. So don't be afraid to do that. Again, if you find any value out of this video, like, subscribe. If you want to see more videos like this, we are on Instagram at Freed Podcast, okay, posting daily there. And again, if you want to see the art, more art, like the art that's behind me here, it's a little blurry with this camera, but you can go follow at Call Center TV, posting monthly there. I'm actually doing this Ninja Turtles art that's pretty cool. I've been working on it for a little bit off and on. It's been tough to do art, but it's cool. I love to draw the Ninja Turtles. I was in a slump drawing, okay? I hadn't drawn. I went and did drawer's block or whatever. I went through drawer's block, and then I came back, and every time I come back to drawing the Ninja Turtles, that's my safe space. I just go and draw some Ninja Turtles, Michelangelo and all them, you know what I'm saying? And think about pizza, and then we in a good space. Slump broken. Now I'm drawing again. So this your boy Freed with the Art of Being Freed. I appreciate you very much. We're going to continue to put new content out every week. Again, if you found any value out of this video, like, share, subscribe. By the way, if you want to learn how to build your own template for success, we do have a video right here that you can look at that is going to walk through how to build your week or design your perfect week. And then you can also look at this other video over here if you just want some simple mindset hacks that will help you have more of a positive mental attitude throughout the week. Till then, I will see you next Friday. Peace.